Welcome back, everybody, to another deep dive. And, today we're going to be tackling Virtual Freedom by Chris Ducker. It's a book that's absolutely packed with advice on how to build a virtual team that actually gives you back time and sanity.
Yeah, it's funny how so many entrepreneurs feel like they have to be superheroes, right? They handle every single task themselves. And Ducker calls this superhero syndrome.
Superhero syndrome.
Yeah, he even compares it to Spider-Man in the intro to the book, right?
Okay.
We get all these powers, all this, these skills, this knowledge, this drive, but then we just feel overwhelmed like we're constantly putting out fires.
Totally. I've been there for sure. You start with this amazing business idea, all this excitement, you're going to build something great, and then the to-do list just never ends. It just keeps growing emails, and then you've got marketing, and then client calls, and website updates, and then all the tech stuff. It's enough to make you want to swing away from it all.
Exactly, and that's where building a virtual team comes in. But, Ducker isn't talking about finding this, mythical super VA who can just do it all.
Right.
It's about assembling a team, each person with their own strengths, working together to support your vision.
Okay, I'm intrigued, but where do you even begin?
Well, he has this thing called the 3 lists to freedom.
3 lists to freedom.
Yeah, have you heard of this?
I have, and I've even tried to do them, but they're hard.
They are hard.
Especially that third one, the tasks you should not be doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That one is so eye-opening.
It is.
Because you just get so caught up in the day-to-day, right? And you kind of lose sight of what you're truly best at.
Yeah, it's like we're so used to wearing all the hats that we forget some hats just don't fit us very well.
That's a great analogy.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that's where delegating comes in. But as Ducker points out, you can't just hand off any task to anyone. You need the right people in the right roles.
Makes sense.
So he kind of busts this myth of this super VA that can just magically handle everything.
Yeah, I remember that part in the book. It was hilarious, like the laundry list of tasks people expect from one VA.
It is hilarious.
It's like they're looking for a magical genie, not a skilled professional.
Yeah, for sure. So Ducker's key message here is hire for the role, not the task.
Hire for the role, not the task.
I like that. And the question is, what are those roles?
Right. Yep.
Well, he lays out this whole virtual team roster.
Oh, yeah.
That covers everything from, your jack of all trades, general VA, to specialists like content writers, SEO experts, video editors, even app developers.
Woo! App developers, too. That sounds pretty high level.
I know it might sound surprising, but these days, talent is everywhere.
It's true.
If your business needs an app, you can absolutely find a skilled developer remotely.
That's so cool.
Yeah, he gives examples of entrepreneurs who have done just that.
Wow. Okay, so let's break down this virtual team roster if I'm just starting out. Who should I bring on board first?
Well, he calls the general VA the cornerstone of any virtual team.
Okay, the general VA.
Yeah, they're kind of your administrative superhero. They handle all those tasks like managing emails, scheduling appointments, doing research, booking travel, all that essential stuff that eats up your time.
Right.
But doesn't necessarily require specialized expertise.
Yeah, all those little things that take up so much brain space.
Yeah, and he actually provides some ballpark figures for what these roles typically cost.
Oh, that's good to know. Does he give some actual numbers?
Yeah, he's very transparent about that. He gives examples based on Filipino VAs.
Filipino VAs.
Being careful to point out that rates can vary.
Right.
Based on experience, skills, and location. But for a full-time general VA in the Philippines, he suggests a starting point around $550 a month.
All right.
But again, that can change based on their skill set.
Okay. That's helpful to have those numbers in mind. It's not just about getting a bargain. It's about, creating a system where everybody benefits. But let's say I found my amazing general VA. They're rocking it, taking care of all those administrative headaches. What's next? Who do I bring on after that?
Well, it really depends on your business and your goals.
Okay.
But if you're serious about building a sustainable online presence, he recommends prioritizing an SEO and internet marketing VA.
Ah, yes, SEO.
Yes, exactly. They're the specialists who help you get found online.
Okay.
The keyword research, website optimization, all that good stuff.
All that good stuff that I don't fully understand.
Yeah. Well, and he even gives specific tips on managing SEO VAs.
Okay.
which can be tricky because results aren't always immediate.
Right. It's a long game.
It is a long game.
With SEO.
Exactly.
So it is a little mysterious, that whole world of keywords and backlinks and algorithms.
Oh, for sure.
Makes my head spin.
Yeah, that's why having an expert on your team can be so valuable.
Right.
They can take care of all that technical stuff, analyze your website, and develop a strategy to attract the right audience.
Okay, so let's say I've got those two key players, the general VA and the SEO expert.
Okay.
Are we ready to roll, or are there other essential roles to consider?
Well, it depends on your business model.
Oh.
If content marketing is a big part of your strategy,
Okay.
like blog posts, ebooks, social media updates, that kind of thing,
Right.
then you'll definitely want to consider bringing on a content writer.
A content writer?
Yes, and he emphasizes finding someone who understands your brand.
Okay.
And can create compelling content that resonates with your target audience.
That makes a lot of sense, and honestly, content creation is a huge part of my strategy, but it's also the part that feels the most overwhelming sometimes.
I get it.
So hearing that I can delegate that to a specialist is music to my ears.
Yes, hallelujah. That's the beauty of virtual teams, right? They allow you to focus on your strengths and delegate those tasks that drain your time and energy.
For sure.
And he also highlights the power of video, especially with platforms like YouTube becoming so dominant.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So he recommends having a dedicated video editor on your team.
A video editor?
Yeah, to handle all the post-production magic.
Makes sense. I love creating videos, but the editing part always feels like a black hole of time.
Oh, is that?
It just sucks you in.
For sure.
So having someone else handle that would free me up to, create more content, and not just any content. Decker stresses the importance of quality over quantity.
Yes, quality over quantity for sure.
Right.
And by delegating these specialized tasks to experts, you actually elevate the quality of your output, which leads to better results.
I like that a lot. This is all sounding great, but honestly, there's a part of me that's thinking, okay, now I have to manage all these people.
I know.
Won't that create even more work for me?
I know that's a valid concern, and he addresses that head on.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he warns against becoming a virtual vulture.
A virtual vulture.
Yeah, that micromanaging boss who hovers over every single task.
Nobody wants to be that guy.
No. So instead, he provides tips on how to effectively manage your team, starting with setting clear expectations from the outset.
Okay, so it's about giving them the freedom to do what they do best without me constantly checking in or, breathing down their necks.
Exactly. Trust is essential in any relationship.
Right.
And that's especially true with virtual teams.
For sure.
But trust isn't just about, hoping for the best.
Right.
It's about providing the right training and support.
Okay.
So that your team can succeed.
So important.
And he has some brilliant methods for this.
Okay, I'm all ears. Let's talk training. What's Ducker's secret sauce for onboarding new team members and setting them up for success?
So glad you asked. Welcome back to our deep dive into virtual freedom.
All right, so we've got our dream team, assembled roles defined, and everyone's clear on expectations. Now let's talk about the thing that makes the world go round: money. How do we make sure this virtual team setup is financially sustainable?
Yeah, that's a great point. And Ducker's very upfront about the financial side of things. One of his biggest points is paying your virtual team what they're worth.
Right.
Don't fall into that trap of always seeking the lowest rates, especially when working with overseas VAs.
I get it. It's tempting to see those low rates advertised online and think, wow, I can get all this work done for so cheap. But that kind of thinking can backfire, right?
Absolutely. Remember, these are skilled professionals, often with years of experience. Right. These are fair compensation.
For sure.
And he provides some, pay scale examples based on his experience with Filipino VAs.
Okay.
He suggests starting a full-time general VA in the Philippines around $550 a month.
Okay.
Though it can vary, with experience and skills.
Okay, so those are good ballpark figures to keep in mind. So it's not just about getting a bargain, it's about creating a sustainable system where everyone benefits. But beyond a fair wage, what are some ways to motivate my virtual team?
Well, Ducker is a huge fan of bonuses.
Bonuses? Now you're speaking my language. Cash bonuses, gifts, the occasional spa day.
Spa days might be a bit tricky with a remote team.
Okay, fair enough.
But cash bonuses are always a winner, especially for Filipino VAs.
Okay.
But it doesn't have to be just cash, gift cards, extra vacation days.
Okay.
Even contributions to retirement funds are all great options. He even mentions offering health insurance, which can be a huge benefit in many countries.
Wow, that's really going above and beyond. It shows you truly value your team's well-being. But with bonuses, you've got to be clear about the criteria, right?
Absolutely. Ducker stresses clear communication when it comes to bonuses.
Okay.
Set specific goals and expectations so everyone understands how to earn those extra rewards.
Gets sense.
It keeps things transparent and fair, building trust and a sense of achievement within the team.
Love it. It's like a level up system for your business. But let's be real, not everyone is going to be a rock star all the time. How do we handle those tricky situations where a team member isn't meeting expectations?
Yeah, that's a good point. And that's where those clear expectations we talked about come into play.
Yeah.
Ducker provides advice for dealing with underperforming VAs. Oh. It starts with open communication with specific feedback and a reasonable timeline for improvement.
So it's not about being a dictator.
No.
It's about guidance and support.
Exactly.
But sometimes it just doesn't work out, right?
Unfortunately, that's true.
Yeah.
Despite your best efforts, sometimes a VA might not be the right fit. And Ducker advises having a process for letting people go gracefully, be professional, respectful, and provide clear reasons for the decision.
Oof, that's a tough conversation. I'd probably be tempted to just ghost them and hope they get the hint.
Tempting, but not very professional.
You're right.
He also emphasizes having a backup plan.
Yeah.
You use online job boards or VA recruitment agencies to build a pool of potential candidates.
Right. So you're not scrambling last minute?
Exactly that way. If you do need to make a change, you're not scrambling to find a replacement.
Makes sense to have a bench of talent ready to go. He also mentioned something about referrals, right?
Yes. Your existing team can be a fantastic source of referrals.
Okay.
Often, your best hires come from recommendations by people you already trust.
That's true.
It builds a sense of community and shared responsibility.
So we've covered wages, bonuses, and those tough conversations. What else does Ducker recommend for building a financially solid virtual team?
Well, he also encourages entrepreneurs to think bigger picture, building multiple streams of income.
Okay, multiple streams of income, that sounds pretty appealing, especially when the goal is freedom and flexibility.
Exactly. He argues that having diversified income streams not only provides financial security, but also allows you to be more adaptable. And guess what? Your virtual team can help build and manage those additional income streams.
Okay, so I'm picturing this now. I've got my core virtual team humming along, handling the essentials, and I'm free to explore those new income avenues, knowing I have a support system in place. This is starting to feel less like a dream and more like a solid plan.
That's the power of a well-structured virtual team. But to really make it all work, we need to talk about the nuts and bolts of managing everything.
Bring on the nuts and bolts. We've got the team. We've got the financial strategy now. How do we keep it all running smoothly? All right, virtual freedom fighters, we're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into Chris Ducker's virtual freedom.
We've covered so much ground, from building your dream team to actually mastering that art of delegation.
Yeah. Now it's time to tackle the how-to, the nitty-gritty of managing that team, the systems, the tools, the communication magic that keeps everything running like a well-oiled machine.
Because as we know, having a talented team is only half the battle.
Oh, for sure.
Right? Without the right infrastructure in place, things can get out of control pretty quickly.
Yeah, it can turn into chaos.
Total chaos.
Yeah.
So Ducker is a huge advocate for project management software.
Okay, project management software. I'll admit, this is one of those things I know I should be using.
Yeah.
But it intimidates me a little.
I get it.
Are we talking complicated spreadsheets, Gantt charts, all that technical jargon?
No, not at all.
Okay.
There are tons of user-friendly options out there.
Really?
Yeah. And Ducker actually gives a great overview of some of the most popular ones.
Okay, like what?
Like Asana Trello Basecamp.
Okay, those names sound familiar.
Yeah. And he breaks down how to actually use them.
Okay, so let's say I've chosen my project management weapon of choice.
Okay.
What's next? Do I just, dump all my to-dos into the software and hope for the best?
It's not quite. He emphasizes the importance of setting clear expectations.
Okay.
Creating a system for assigning tasks, tracking progress, and providing feedback. It's about establishing a workflow that everyone understands and follows.
So it's like creating a roadmap for each project.
Yes.
Making sure everyone knows their role and how to get to the destination.
Exactly. And this is where having a virtual project manager really shines.
Oh, yes.
They can be the maestro orchestrating all the moving parts and keeping everything on track.
Yes, my trusty right-hand person. But how do we make sure we're managing them effectively?
Yeah, that's important too. Ducker provides some great tips on managing that relationship with your virtual project manager.
Okay.
Regular check-in meetings, clear communication protocols.
Okay.
He even talks about the importance of daily reporting.
Daily reporting. So like my VAs would give me a quick rundown of what they accomplished each day.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't have to be a formal, lengthy report.
Right.
A simple email or a quick update in the project management software does the trick. It keeps everyone accountable and ensures nothing falls through the cracks.
Okay, so we've got our project management software humming along.
Yes.
Regular check-ins, daily reports. What else is crucial for smooth virtual team management?
Communication. Communication.
Okay, I'm sensing a theme here.
Yes. He stresses this over and over.
Okay.
And he goes beyond just, email and instant messaging.
Right.
He advocates for regular video calls.
Video calls.
To foster that human connection and build rapport.
I love that it's so easy to feel disconnected when everyone's working remotely.
It is.
Video calls help bridge that gap.
Absolutely. And he even suggests using video calls for training and onboarding new team members.
Okay.
It's way more engaging than just sending them a bunch of documents.
Totally show them the ropes instead of just telling them.
Exactly.
Okay, so we're communicating, effectively managing projects like pros. What about the human side of things? How do we create a sense of team culture when everyone's scattered across the globe?
That's a great question. And Ducker addresses that head on.
Okay, good.
Yeah, he suggests things like, virtual team building activities, online social groups, even setting shared goals to foster that sense of camaraderie and purpose.
That's brilliant. It's about creating a virtual water cooler where everyone can connect and feel like they're part of something bigger.
Exactly. And he also provides advice on handling those inevitable challenges that pop up when working with people across different time zones and cultures.
Ah, yes, the time zone tango. How do you manage deadlines when your team is literally on opposite sides of the planet?
Yeah, it can be tricky, but Ducker emphasizes clear communication and flexibility. Tools like online calendars and scheduling apps can help find times that work for everyone.
Okay.
And he also stresses, being mindful of cultural differences.
Right.
Understand, the different working styles and communication norms.
So it's not just about managing tasks, it's about understanding and respecting the humans behind those tasks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what makes Ducker's approach so effective. He blends the practical with the personal.
Yeah.
Creating a system that's both productive and people-focused.
I've got to say, I'm feeling way more confident about this whole virtual team thing. Now it's like Ducker has provided a roadmap to success.
He has, and the best part is it's not about being perfect.
Right.
It's about constantly learning, adapting, and refining your systems. It's a journey, not a destination.
I love that. So to wrap up this epic deep dive, what's the one key takeaway you'd want our listeners to remember about managing a virtual team?
I think Ducker sums it up perfectly. Virtual freedom is not a destination, it's a journey.
Beautiful. And it's about constantly, evolving and growing alongside your team and, of course, enjoying all the amazing benefits that virtual freedom brings.
Exactly. Traveling the world, pursuing your passions, spending more time with loved ones. The possibilities are pretty much endless.
So, dear listener, I hope this deep dive has inspired you to embrace the power of virtual teams and start building your own path to freedom. Remember, it's not about perfection, it's about progress. Take it one step at a time, experiment, learn from your mistakes, and most importantly, have fun along the way.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Now go forth and conquer those to-do lists. Know you have the power to create a business and a life that truly sets you free.
And until next time, keep diving deep.